I'm going to talk a little bit about the science of sales. Everybody thinks of sales as being taken advantage of, but sales is not being taken advantage of. It's keeping the exchange in for a product or service. In healthcare, everybody thinks, well, if it's covered by insurance, it's legitimate and it should be that way and you shouldn't have to pay for your healthcare. And now we're realizing that's not true. So then should insurance cover all the things that we do? Yeah, I think so. If it works, that should be the test of it. If you do it on enough people and it works in a percentage of people, then it should be covered. But no, you need all these different studies, and the studies that only somebody with tons of money can do, like a pharmaceutical company or university, and they're basically forwarding this idea of big pharma. Big pharma will never get people well. It's proven that. In this country, we're the most medicated country in the world and one of the unhealthiest countries in the world. So if you want healthcare, you have to pay for it. If you want to give good healthcare and you want to get paid for it, you got to charge for it. So now comes the dilemma of a doctor being faced with, my patients don't have coverage for the service I want to give them that I know is going to be good for them. So how do I get exchange for it? You don't just starve yourself. A lot of chiropractors do that. They'll give services away. And I find that to be the case a lot of times when I talk to a chiropractor. Do you have a decompression chair? Yeah, I do. How come you don't use that? Because people don't have insurance for it. They just want to do what insurance covers. That's not the right attitude. So I'm going to give you some basic premises today on sales that you should remember. Number one, if you give away a service and you don't get fair exchange for it, the person you give the service to will have a certain amount of guilt, maybe just a little bit. Not enough that they walk around and go, oh yeah, I won't take that deal. They take the deal. But then they feel in their heart, yeah, I took advantage of that doctor, and they'll justify it. I took advantage of that doctor, but he's really not the best doctor. They're charging too much for that service or whatever. They justify it. They justify it by making you less. That is what happens. If you give away free services, your patients will have to justify that by either saying they are a jerk for taking advantage of you, or that you are a jerk and that's why they took advantage of you. And that's usually the one people take. And they don't do this consciously, they do it unconsciously. So remember that. If you're giving away services, you're hurting your own reputation. If you charge for a service and people buy it, then what people think is that service must be valid because people are paying money for it. If you look at a car that costs $200,000, you go, that's ridiculous. Who would ever pay $200,000 for a car? But boy, I would love to get one because it's a $200,000 car. It must be awesome. People do pay money for that. That's how people think. So you have to keep that in mind when it comes to selling your services, because the more you give it away for free, the more you cheapen it and the less valuable people take it. And I'm not going to get into a big dissertation on how valuable chiropractic is or the medical services that we provide. They are valuable, extremely valuable. So we do charge for them, and we help people find financing. And it's a shame that their insurance doesn't cover the things that get them well, but we get people well. That is the bottom line. Our services work. So hopefully some of the things I've shared with you is going to help you. I know they will. So I want you to click and watch the next video because you're going to love it. It's going to help you more.